What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today we're going to talk about some Davante Adams rumors. Aaron Rodgers talking about being on the hot seat and wanting to play multiple years with the New York Jets, which is something he said for a few times now. Before Aaron Rodgers got into talking about the hot seat and wanting to play multiple years, there was a long discussion before that. I'm not going to touch it. I don't have a feel on it one way or the other. I don't think it's worth talking about. I just wanted to point out a quote that Aaron Rodgers said yesterday at his exit interview where he says, "The bullshit that has nothing to do with winning needs to get out of the building." I just think it's ironic. I don't want to, again, it's not saying that he's right or wrong for anything that he said or has said. I'm not taking a stance on it. It's not worth it. I don't want to. It's just if you're going to say the BS that has nothing to do with winning and then going on a show once a week, it's a little ironic. That's all. And that's the point that I was making about Hard Knocks too back in August, where I didn't love the idea of doing Hard Knocks. I didn't necessarily want to. I enjoyed it. It was a weird, again, I loved the product that we got out of Hard Knocks as a Jet fan to actually see it, see inside the building and stuff like that. But the outside distractions, so to speak, is something that didn't like. And there was a lot of that this past offseason. And that's something that I think has to change going forward for this team. And I like that Aaron Rodgers quote a ton. The BS that has nothing to do with winning needs to get out of the building. Focus on the main thing is something that Robert Saleh says all the time. Making the main thing. And the Jets are going to have a lot of pressure on themselves this upcoming season in 2024 to end a playoff drought and to make the playoffs in 2024. And I would love to think that they can do it, but this team has a very specific goal in mind. And it was either in Hard Knocks or in One Jets Drive in one of the early episodes. Forgive me. They were on at the same time, pretty much. Overlaps which one was which. But Aaron Rodgers had a team meeting, and he was talking about, he's breaking down the huddle before they left OTAs to go on a break before training camp. And he was like, remember what our goal is. We don't want to get ourselves into trouble. Paraphrasing, but that is essentially what he was saying. And the Jets have done, last year they did a pretty good job with that. And I would like for that to continue. And I just think it would be in everyone's best interest, in the team's best interest, to limit the outside noise as much as humanly possible. And just focus on getting better as a team and trying to get this thing right for the 2024 season. Now to the hot seat. So he says that he's on the hot seat, which, is kind of true. He wants to play for multiple years, but he's got to prove that he can still play at this level. I think he can, for good reason. I mean, he looked great in training camp, and the little we saw him in the preseason, he played at a MVP level in 2020 and 2021. I don't think that's a fair or realistic expectation out of Aaron Rodgers for him to play at that level. I also don't think he is necessarily going to play like he did in 2022 when he played the season with a busted thumb. And obviously coming off the Achilles, we'll see. But to me, there's no reason that you can't expect him to be a top 12 quarterback in the league. Potentially, obviously higher, right? He's an extremely talented guy. Would it be stunning if he was a top 5 next year? I mean, it would be impressive, but the guy he's incredible. He's one of the best to ever do it. But I think it's reasonable to go in and say, be one of the 12 or so best quarterbacks in the sport, give or take, a few. Get the offensive line right, add some help at the wide receiver room, bring as many pieces of this defense back as humanly possible, and let's try to do this thing. And let's try to improve. And I think that they can. And if he does do that and plays like a top 12 quarterback, then I think he's probably back in 2025. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Then secondly, there was the Davante Adams rumors. So Davante, this is the point that we're at. I know it's only 2 days into the offseason pretty much, but Davante Adams rumor season, like tweet season. So Garrett Wilson is switching his number from 17 to number 5. Thomas Morstead posted a picture of him giving the number 5 jersey a little symbolic thing. Now, don't get all bent out of shape. This doesn't necessarily mean that Thomas Morstead is retiring or leaving. The Jets aren't going to bring him back. He wore, 6, I believe, in New Orleans. I don't remember what number he wore in Miami, but in New Orleans, I'm 95% positive he was wearing number 6. So maybe he brings that jersey and wears that. That would be interesting there. And Garrett Wilson going to number 5 opens up number 17. And who wears number 17? Davante Adams. So the connections were starting to go. And the Jets have been heavily linked to Davante Adams for a long time. Before the season last year, at the trade deadline this year, they leaked it after the trade deadline again that they were interested in trying to acquire him at the deadline. Then it was leaked shortly thereafter that, they're going to make another push for him this offseason. That feels like something that is going to happen. And I understand people's fear of trading for a receiver who's 31 years old, and he was just traded not that long ago for a massive package. I don't think it's costing a first round pick. They don't have a second round pick. I don't think that would be the cost either. People were panicking about, remember last offseason, the 2 examples that I always go back to, Dalvin Cook and DeAndre Hopkins were 2 guys that originally their teams were going to look to trade them, and they end up getting released. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to get this guy released. I don't think Davante Adams is going to get flat out cut, but I don't think the trade compensation is going to be nearly as much as what people are anticipating. The 3rd rounder this year, yes. Something in 2024, a conditional pick where maybe it's in 2025 even, sorry. Conditional pick in 2025 if it's number 2 or number 3, something like that. Multiple day 2 picks, we'll say. Multiple day 2 picks over the next 2 years would be my guess to what it would cost to get Davante Adams in here. And I believe his salary or cap hit to the acquiring team would be $16 million, which essentially would be AAV-wise around where, maybe even less than a T. Higgins and Davante Adams getting on the open market. But you have to give up the free agent, the trade capital rather than just signing him in free agency. But I would not be surprised at all if the Jets continue to have the Davante Adams rumors floating around. Is it a guarantee that he's here? No, of course nothing is in this world is guaranteed. But it feels like when there's smoke, there's fire. And with this, there's been some smoke for a while now. So just wanted to toss that one out there because, again, it feels to me like something that is worthwhile to keep an eye on. So we'll see. Aaron Rodgers also talked about Davante Adams as like great teammate, lovely guy. He's one of my good buddies, and that'd be a good a buddy that I'd be happy about coming. It's not the same as a Randall Cobb or Billy Turner or Tim Boyle, so to speak. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. Please like before you go. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.